Change is a fascinating thing in itself because many of us are frightened by change. To me, change is like the waves on the beach. Sometimes they come in little ripples, and other times they come in roaring surf. The only thing that's certain is it keeps coming. That's the only thing that's certain. Change will keep happening.
There was a local developer, service station operator that had 20 or 30 service stations in the local area, and he came and approached us for that particular site, and he branded it a Caltex.
It was very similar to what we were doing. Building is just a systematic approach to putting things together, and we got that, I suppose, the system of working with all the subcontractors and suppliers, and we felt like, oh, well, this is not too daunting. We can do this.
We'd just come off the back of building, a lot of those industrial buildings and bulky goods. It was quite exciting to have a new challenge of something new, being a service station in the fast foods at the time. And that particular private operator introduced us to all of the national companies.
We weren't moving away from industrial buildings or commercial buildings. We're just looking for a bit of diversification. And so we then went on to do Caltex, BPs, Pumas, 7-Elevens. So even to today, it forms a part of the suite of what we do.
Well, first it was local, which was a great help, and it was a prominent site. It was just totally underutilised. This site here was an Ampol service station, and that was right up in this front corner. So where we are here was bush. It was thick scrub with bloody burnt out car bodies and all sorts of rubbish.
The site would have looked like the bush over the road there.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're on the edge of Maitland here. Maitland became the fastest growing non-coastal city in Australia. Because of that huge growth, everything is going along with it.
And I think that growth stimulated centres like this, and certainly the workplaces as well, didn't it? Without the workplaces, you need the residential component to have the workplaces. It all goes hand in hand. It's kind of not a chicken and egg thing, is it? It all happens together. The national brands are definitely, they like to do business with people that deliver.
Thornton Supercentre exposed us to dealing with that calibre of tenant. That national retailer. It was good grounding, and it was good to be able to obviously deal with those guys at that level, which was a great help come GFC time. And those bulky goods then rolled into the shopping centres. Coles supermarkets, that was interesting. It was like what we'd dealt with previously, but on steroids.
I think we did 5 Coles neighbourhood shopping centres in a 12-month period.
The Coles guys didn't think that we would be able to do what we did because we changed the way that they build their buildings.
We couldn't have built the 6 of them in the 12-month period if we had tried to do it the traditional methodology. I mean, we saw the advantages of what we'd been doing in the bulky goods, and it was obvious when we started to look at the layout and the design, that we could actually utilise the same building technique, and it gave us that control of so much occurred off-site.
The anchor tenant made the whole thing work. We couldn't get a coffee shop operator, so we set it up and operated it ourselves until somebody was able to see that it was working and take it over.
Most of the tenants that we put in originally are still here. Yeah. Only one or two have moved out.
Luckily we did move out of the coffee shop because Jono was a terrible barista.
Yeah, no good. It was a solution to a bigger problem.
See, you wanted action. That's real action, isn't it?
I think the thing that we learned out of that was that we could step up, and we did bring on board a couple of employees with those skill sets, and it's basically what we've been able to do in the future as well.
There's always luck involved, but it was taking the opportunity We'd had offers to buy our 4 shopping centres and 2 bulky goods centres all lumped up into one transaction, and Hilton actually said no. 12 months later, GFC hit, and we couldn't sell them, and we didn't want to sell them because they were so good from a cash flow point of view to get us through those times, for sure. It wasn't a good time. Assets getting revalued, bankers wanting their money back, and it was a few years of chaos, for sure. I was dealing with the banks and the tenants, so yeah, and the valuers. So it was very much, it was in my face, and it was chaotic. It was tough. There was a lot of pressure on us. It's definitely changed the way we do things, but we just got to have the ability to adapt and adopt change.
So then it's a matter of how you deal with change. Do you welcome it? Do you look forward to it? Do you get the exhilaration of riding the big waves when they come? Do we look for change to happen to get benefits, to get enjoyment, to get thrill? Or do we stay scared of it and hope that it'll go away?